They're there. They're there. Authentic. You can tell by the tone and the sound of the vibration. Please be respectful to your Beanie Babies. Just because they cause you losses doesn't mean you should abuse or do anything inappropriate in this world. You should always be respectful. So today I'm going to be doing a little coping and a little copium, kind of a little conversation with everybody. It is true. The self-fulfilling prophecy of Rudy's prediction that the Q4 of 2025 was going to be a cool-off period in the world of Poke de la Mom, also known as stepmom poking your Pokemons. The self-fulfilling prophecy of Rudy's third floor testicle basement has come true. It appears that the acceleration of the cool-off in the world of Pokemon is in full force right now. We are seeing straight up cool-off retracement across the board. We're seeing as little as about 5 to 10% retracements from the all-time highs of some booster boxes of Pokemon, all the way down to 20 to 25% pullbacks on certain sets. Looking at you, Destined Rivals. What Destined Rivals hit? 550? What did it hit? Crazy, isn't it? So, this is me. I'm going to talk really... I'm going to talk very slow and calm to keep everybody's nerves at bay. So we discussed last month, the month before last month, that I predicted that moving into the end of the year, we were going to see finally a retracement in Pokemon boxes, in sealed boxes. After the absolute tear for month over month, after quarter after year, we're at like about 2 years into the strongest bull market in modern Pokemon history. We are finally seeing a correction, a crash, a pause. I don't really care. You guys can view it however you want. But the data shows the average Pokemon box is down between 10 and 20% from the high. Some sets are only down 5%. Some sets are down 25, 30%. So, finally, we are getting a normal market behavior of something leveling off. This is, markets only going in a straight line make people stupid. We've talked about this on this channel. It is imperative that we have market periods that punch people in the face. The punching in the face thing, again, no violence. Only when you check the mailbox, you open and it happens. But remember, we have to have the human greed and the psyche. It has to be put into check sometimes. Without market pullbacks, humans will leverage up. They'll borrow money. They'll go on debt. They'll take on HELOCs, home equity lines of credit. They'll do credit card balance transfers. They'll borrow with small business loans. People will do dumb things if there's no risk of ever being a downside. So thankfully, we finally have a Pokemon stopping point. Now, there are rumors swirling around. Some of you out there believe there's going to be a massive Pokemon dump of sealed product over the next 90 days going into the holidays. And first, let's comment on that rumor. I hope, for the love of all that is a waffle fry, I hope Pokemon out of nowhere contacts all 3, 4, 5,000 wholesale store, business, whatever accounts in the country. And I hope Pokemon says we have tons of SVO, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't even know. I don't even know how far back they're going to go. Even the last few sets, just surging, Journey, Destin. I guess Black and White. Does anybody care about Black and White? No, nobody cares? Okay. If we can get a massive reprint, and no, not these supplementary accessory boxes, not accessory pouches, not an ETB, not a fancy EX, GX, HX, QX, LMNOP, Batman symbol. No, an actual booster box. That would be fantastic. And on top of that, it needs to be, I'm talking, this thing needs to come in here like high school Rudy thinking he's the hottest thing on the planet. And everybody looks at this guy walking in the room like, oh my God, He thinks he's like Neo from the Matrix, pale white Twilight vampire. What a moron. Like, we need a massive amount. And there are rumors swirling that they are reprinting tens of thousands of booster boxes and they're going to dump them all at once. Now, my personal opinion, I think it's all bullshit. I think all this shit on the internet is stupid. I think everyone's making up crap. But I hope there's at least a glimmer of truth that we can get some sort of realistic, sizable reprint. Not where every store gets one case. And guess what? You got to pay $200, $300 a box. It's just, you know, there's no, like, an actual real thing. It's been years. That's what we can hope for. If that happens, if that does happen, it will be one of the greatest buying opportunities in Pokemon in years. I don't think it's going to happen, but I am hoping, the rumors and all the drama on the internet, I am hoping that prices can get smashed in the face, a ton of supply can come to market, and it gives everybody an opportunity on a level playing field to move in and say, hey, do I want to finally participate or do I not? Again, if I can get 3,000 boxes of Surging Sparks at $100 and I can sell them for $110, $120, $130 or something, stores and evil people like me will make more money than just giving me, here's 50 boxes. Oh, your cost is $220, then you can sell them for $240, $250. Like, sure, the numbers are bigger, but nobody makes as much money. Nobody has the volume to sell. It's just it's not as profitable when the prices are sky high and Destined Rivals is $300, $400, $500 and everybody has very little. I mean, the little bit you have, you can make a lot of money, but you'll make more. So I'm hoping the first part of this video that these rumors are true. Conclusion of that first rumor, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, I encourage everyone to step back, remember how you feel right now, and you can't get any of these products. And if we have pullbacks of, I don't even know, Surging Sparks from $250, or Destined Rivals from $350, $400, and it goes all the way back to $200, these are going to be the times to buy. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, we'll readdress it, and maybe we'll get lucky. So, next part in the Pokemon thing. I do believe the collapse of the Magic the Gathering Spider-Man, I'm not going to call collapse on the new Flesh and Blood set, but it is the weakest one, because technically it's still $80, $90 online, but technically it doesn't have the legs that the last 3 Flesh and Blood sets had. It's our first weak one we've seen probably all year. Again, Magic the Gathering Spider-Man, same thing. First week set I've seen with all the negativity and drama I've seen in a while. On the backs of some of these releases coming out and getting hit by the market and penalized, this is going to cause stores to be in that whoa. Because again, a lot of stores, we've been over this, they were anticipating X amount of profit. They thought the money was a shoo-in. You're a shoo-in. And it didn't happen. Therefore, some of these people are going to be stuck with the inventory. Do they fire sell it? Do they keep the inventory? Or do they sell other products like Pokemon that they're already sky high, lock in that money, and use it to pay other bills and pre-orders? So again, you start to have that little roulette of money moving around, little Ponzi scheme. I'm going to pay that and move that here. And, oh wait, let's do pre-orders to collect money from people here. Then I can pay that bill over here. You start to run into, unfortunately, that type of behavior. We've seen it many times in the last 10.5 years. I've been talking to you guys on YouTube. There's been at least 5 to 10 stories in stores around the country in the last 10 years that we've been on this channel that we've told you guys about Ponzi schemes and stores that have failed. 2 or 3 stores did some nasty damage back in 2022 in that cruel summer of the Baldur's Gate era and Commanders, Masters, and everything. I remember there was a couple that were really bad. One was an eBay one. They hit like over 1,000 negative feedback, and they hit for like, I think it was $1 million or something, and they just burned everybody. And I remember they were advertising like cheaper than Rudy, but instead of a scumbag, you get a smile or something. They were trying to, and then of course it was all a scam. So moving on. Here we are, right? Still standing. Less hair, a little older, a little grumpier. So, with the Pokemon situation, I do believe, like I told you all, moving into 2026, I expect probably about by January, February, we will start to see the line go from down to sideways. We will start to see our first uptick. So don't be a hero. If you have been waiting to buy Pokemon, if you're big into Pokemon, yes, you can buy from any store in the country. I always recommend you guys go online, buy from other LGSs, eBay, TCG Player, go to your local store, buy whoever you want, support these people. Even if you think they're evil and they're scalping and using, you get angry at the employee and throw a taco at them. But, remember, that store probably only has a couple boxes. So, over the next few months, these are the times to buy. It's similar to Wall Street when we have pullbacks and craziness, which again, Wall Street's just on fire. Everything's doing good again. Stocks are going crazy. The S&P's going crazy. AI, beep, boop, boop's crazy. And of course, Bitcoin's crazy. I think the weakest segments of the market right now are, we have CCGs. Pokemon and Magic is in a soft period now for the Q4. And real estate continues to be very flat to negative overall compared to other market segments. So bull markets in stocks, bull markets in Bitcoin, bull markets in some collectible classes, bear markets in negativity, vintage Magic, real estate, and of course, we have some softness in Pokemon, and that's really about it where we're at. So knowing we have multiple months of Pokemon going to be flat, based on that assumption, you should decide that, okay, if I know I have 3 months before Pokemon does anything, how you should approach this is you decide what your budget is, how much you have, divide it up and say, I'm going to buy 1 box a week, maybe a case a week, maybe whatever your budget is, determine how volume your volume you want to spend, and divide it equally over X amount of weeks or a couple months, and that's how much you should buy. Because right now you could see, Destined Rivals from 500-600 down to 350-400, and you could be like, wow. And your price memory is thinking, wow, this is almost half price of 600. It's down to 375. Remember, you could be excited. Never be a hero. Never be a hero. The first person to get murdered and killed in a horror movie, in Halloween or anything, is always the hot chick running through the woods. She trips on her high heels and the bad guy gets her, right? Right? And of course, after that, the hero who wants to help the girl, there'll be 2 signs. Do I go and save the girl, or do I go in this evil shed with a bunch of chainsaws? And he picks the shed and he gets hurt. So don't be a hero. Go slow. Determine how much you want to spend. No matter how excited you are, you never go all in. You buy a little bit at a time. You buy a little bit at a time. I've been doing that with Pokemon for the last 7 years, with Magic the Gathering, even with the Spider-Man. Everybody knows nationwide. Rudy's been buying Spider-Man collectors. And again, every week, every this and that. Even now, I'm paying the highest price, 80% of whatever the Spider-Man box is. I pay 80% of market, and I provide you with a shipping label and pay your shipping. Nobody is in the entire country is paying as high as Spider-Man collectors as I am. But of course, that's why I don't think there's anyone in the country that has almost 2,000 boxes of Spider-Man collectors. Because I've done this long enough to know that I'm going to keep going slow and I'm going to keep nibbling. And I'm going to let the nature take its course and let the cards fall where they are. Yeah, I'm aware Spider-Man Collectors is off Amazon, this and that. And I'm aware that, they kind of stopped going down for now. It could get worse. It could get better. We don't know. So what do? I slowly just keep adding to the position every week. Because there will be a time when the line starts to turn up and I'm going to back away and say, all right, we had a good run. And that happens with everything. So remember, folks, in this Pokemon discussion, similar to the Magic Spider-Man, it is important to remember we don't know if Pokemon's going to go down the next 6 months or the next 12 months. I've told you my opinion, and I've got about a 60-70% accuracy rate, which is pretty good. So I'm only completely wrong 30% of the time, which I'm pretty proud of. So my opinion, we have 90 more days. We have a couple more months of either complete sideways kangaroo or a negative 5 to 10% each month. That is my prediction. I made it last month and the month before and last week. So far, it feels like we're pretty on track for that. Now, again, save your money. There will be stores on the holidays here in about a month from now. When we hit Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Stepsister Monday, and Ex-Girlfriend Tuesday, there will be sales nationwide. There's going to be people trying to raise capital, unload things from the books. There will be things going on. So keep in mind, don't overspend and be prepared, because holidays, people overdo it. They go into debt, and then they spend January, February, March paying off debts and paying interest. So, but just remember, short-term flipping for Pokemon is kind of over right now. So it's not a bad thing. To be honest with you, should have happened a lot sooner. But short-term flipping on Pokemon is been halted right now. And that alone, once people start realizing that they can't buy a Pokemon box, turn around and sell it 30 days later for profit, once this starts fracturing, we're going to be finally on the road of back to recovery where Pokemon should be. Pokemon boxes should not be doubling and tripling in a couple of years. I've been saying this for a long time. The original Rudy thing was 6 to 9% a year. If you ever hit double-digit returns, 10+% a year, congratulations, you're a hero and you think you're hot stuff. Pokemon, I would like to see Pokemon boxes come out, sell for $150, $180, hell, $200 a box. And then I would like to see, after 6 months and a year, that $200 box goes to like $220, $230. In 2 years, it goes to $270, $280. In 3 years, it goes to $350. I would like to see a return to slower appreciation. And again, you're talking to a guy who's got stupid amounts of booster boxes and cases, but I would rather see a more stable marketplace because the long game is more about stability versus short-term swings. But honestly, there is a small part of me that would kind of like to see like Destined Rivals go from that $500-$600 a box to what? What is it today? $375? I would like to see Destined Rivals go from $375, maybe down another $100 to $275 or $250. You know, to really just pull back and just kind of reverse a lot of things to kind of shake up a lot of the people who have no business being in this market. I mean, you know, if I'm going to the dollar store and I'm trying to buy an inflatable rubber thing and they're trying to upsell me on Pikachu, it's just weird. It's just weird. If I'm going to the Kia or Hyundai dealership and I'm trying to buy a school bus for my 17 children, like, why are you trying to upsell me on a box of Journey Together? I know I'm on a journey with my 17 kids, but what's going on? Like, there's just things that aren't making sense because everybody knows Pokemon is the modern day investment. It's on CNBC. There's articles. It's mainstream. Everybody knows. Yes, Pokemon has beaten the S&P 500 in the last 25, 30 years. It is what it is. Do I think it should be that ridiculous? No, but it is. That's just what it is. I think it's absurd, but that's the data. And hopefully we can get back to a more calm, normal thing. Even 10% a year on Pokemon would be awesome. To buy a $150 box that goes to $180, then $210, then $230, then $250. Like, how amazing would it be to return to that normality or something? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think right now a nice couple month calm period will be very healthy for everything. And hopefully that also pushes some people out of Pokemon that, you know, thought they could just swipe a credit card, spend $5,000, and then in 30 days sell it for 10. Maybe hopefully we can kind of weed some of that out, you know. So that's all I have to say. I guess I hope you guys on the internet, with all the rumors about all these reprints and tons of reprints of, you know, Surging and Journey and Destins and Black and White, all the way to Mega Evolutions with your stepson. I hope it's true. I don't think it's going to be, but man, I'm pulling for you guys, man. Where are we at? End of October? Oh, this video will come out the end of October, or last week of October. I don't want to reveal it. We got 2 Pokemon sales coming up for patrons. We got the Sorcery Gothic Mega Launch. We got some really cool new white sets coming. Magic the Gathering Avatar. Oh, do I want to say that? Okay, well, it's the end of the video. No one's watching. Finally, are you guys ready for this? Finally. Holy smokes. I have over 1,000 Tarkir play boxes. Over 1,000 Final Fantasy play boxes. I believe, I don't know how many Foundations play. Finally, I got confirmation yesterday. Finally. So patrons, we're going to have our cheap play boxes back. Finally. Thanks for being patient. If anybody's stuck to the end of the video, I don't know.